What's poppin', y'all? This is D-Drug with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to settle in the life that has been faithfully set out for you, or the ability to create destiny in your own path. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So look, the title of this video is going to be on the fact that I seen a video on the internet that was basically a man basically describing how predators go after single moms and prey on the children. And I think that's the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? Because again, a lot of us in this world right now think it's men against women, women against women, man against man. It's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's the understanding of zoning in on that mental space. You know? Because look, I'm explaining it from my point of view. It was so many men in the video under the comments saying, oh, they need a man in the home, a predator, or instantly stand down if a man is in the home. Let me explain something to you. If you're emotionally unavailable as a man, you're not strong. You know what I'm saying? You're just as vulnerable as a single woman, period. You feel me? So again, it was saying that the predators go after the parents, not the children. And I do believe that in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because of my own personal experience. Due to how and this mental state I was in when I became pregnant, that mental state carried on to my child. So what happens is now the father treats her the same way as I was when I was, you know, in that vulnerable state. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. It's kind of like I went after you, I got you, and now that she's here, I'm going to treat her exactly how I treat you. But doesn't mean he's any stronger. Because if he's mentally immature, he can easily be preyed on too. Because if you're a serial breeder and you have multiple kids, when you're out in public and everybody is your friend, a predator is looking at that. And what happens is if you have girls and you're not protecting them, I'm going to come in as if I'm your friend and zone in on your money and power and go for the kids. Listen, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. You feel me? Let's take out being against each other, because that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that we have to go down into a space that we don't feel comfortable going into. It's hurt so bad, or we forgot about it, or we don't acknowledge it. But I'm telling you right now, it's not forgotten. It's just the fog has been put over your eyes. If you were to go to a psychologist right now, they have a certain set of tactics that they use to get you to go back into that space where you don't want to go into. And memory will start to become clear. They know what they're doing, just like you know what you're doing. You feel me? So again, let's take out the fact that it's because a man is not there or they prey on single women, because a woman can be just as strong by becoming mature and learning her lessons, by making sure her kid is out there acting like a kid and not an adult. When you expose children to adult situations before they're old, or they're able to understand how to handle that emotionally, you make them automatically become a victim. You feel me? To what is susceptible to a normal human's eyes, especially if they've learned how to be clever and trick a child. They will not know because they think that what they're doing is correct when it's not. Always understand that you should be teaching your child at a age where they understand and is appropriate for them. Stop letting them grow up too fast, because the moment that you do that, you're leaving it open for any predator to come in. Because he's looking at how they think they are versus where they really are. You feel me? And how you think they may portray themselves versus the type of person that they really are. Listen, and let me explain an example. What I'm about to talk about, these people are, the parents are deceased. You know what I'm saying? But this was a case that was around the age when I was young. but it was so widestream and so big. And it's not to shield anyone or put anyone down, but it was the John Benet Ramsey case. How they were not able to find that little girl's killer for a long time. Now listen to me. The girl was 6 years old, and she was basically living the dream that the mother didn't get a chance to live, which was being in pageants and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And being a celebrity child. So this little 6-year-old girl does not have the emotional understanding of how to handle all different energetic personalities around her. But when you're being forced into an environment by a parent early of being a runway model, a pageant star, without teaching them the fundamentals of life, they'll basically be open to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because they're around so many people all the time. And maybe the mom's motive was focused on, I need my daughter to live out my dream. Not only that, they had money. The dad was a successful something. They had money. Listen, the house was unlocked. They lived in a good neighborhood. Whoever was watching them knew that. But you never really know where it comes from. But I promise you, it always comes from someone that they associated themselves with that probably knew you. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Whatever happened in the mom's life to where she wasn't able to live out her dreams crippled her. So she had a child, and she forced that lifestyle onto that child. And whoever, listen, they still haven't found the killer. Her homicide was like, listen, it's decades old. I don't even think they still solved the case. But listen, in some type of way, the girl felt comfortable with whoever it was that was able to sneak in that house, because he basically persuaded her by being nice. I think it was a bowl of pineapples downstairs, you know what I'm saying, that they don't remember giving her. Somehow that little 6-year-old child was able to be persuaded out of her room and downstairs to eat pineapples, you know what I'm saying, to only in turn be sexually assaulted and strangled and killed. And then the guy was able to get out the house without ever being caught. Like, come on, bro. Listen to me. Listen. I feel as if when you're so caught up in a certain lifestyle, you tend to not acknowledge the important necessities to life, which is emotionally controlling and maturing who you are, so you can teach your children how to be free in a world where they also have to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Listen, listen. First off, I don't feel as if you should push a kid to live your life because you were unfulfilled. Let that kid be and do what they want for themselves in a way where, you know what I'm saying, it's positive and healthy. Oftentimes, people who don't know themselves, they want to do things that they see other people doing. Not because they know themselves, but because they get power and control over, you feel me, being in the open and controlling people. It's not because I truly know who I am. I just need the freedom to be able to control and learn so that I can be what's hot, what's next, and learn how to, you feel me, memorize the controlling tactics, the emotions that people use for certain situations, how people act, what they do, so that I can just fit in and act as a character, because I basically studied humans and what they do. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that girl was too young to be in pageants. Just my personal perspective. You feel me? People are going to do what they want, but she was just too young and too little. You know what I'm saying? And being around a bunch of people all the time because your parents are taking your celebrity status as their own because you're their kid. They're not really looking at you as being the successful celebrity. They're looking at themselves being the successful celebrity because they're tied to you. You know what I'm saying? Without teaching the fundamentals. It was just too easy of a homicide for that little girl, for the emotional spaces to be catered to. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you have a little girl, it's okay for them to be themselves. But if you experience them too early to the outside world, they're going to study what they see and they're going to emulate it. That is for you as their parent to put boundaries by, hey, listen, you cannot go outside dressed like that. You're a child. If people who are predators see you dressed like that, they're automatically going to think you have the mindset of an adult, but really you don't. You only been looking and studying it. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know because you never experienced that yet because you haven't made it that far. You know what I'm saying? Listen, a man that respects women in general will want to see their woman dressed a certain way to where it doesn't attract people or it doesn't make them, you know what I'm saying, a catalyst for being molested or raped, etc. You know what I'm saying? And listen, excuse me for the people out there that I have went through that. You know what I'm saying? This is not in any way to put that down or discredit it. It's just to be able to understand that your pain can travel on to your young lives if you don't give them the emotional maturity needed to control who they are in a world where they can be free, but they have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Most of these children don't have boundaries. They do everything that their mother does or their father does or whoever's raising them, and they haven't had the wisdom enough to experience that yet. So they don't know exactly if they're being tricked or if it's real or not. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to teach them that. So again, before I get too off topic, I really truly think that as a woman, you can be a single mother and a person that is, you know what I'm saying, healthy enough will respect that. Predators only prey on people with low vibrational mindsets. You know what I'm saying? And it may look like you don't have that because of maybe what you got, what you have. You really are not a person that thinks in a low vibration. But I promise you, energy is so transferable by the way you act, the way you move, the way you carry yourself. You feel me? People talk. You feel me? They talk about to spread your business. You know what I'm saying? You put your relationship out there. They get a visual of how that person is. They put it next to you, and they basically study and schedule. If I will be able to trick this person by coming in and playing a role like I'm this person to only be something else, and before they even realize what's going on, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, I truly believe from the bottom of my heart, that little girl, JonBenet Ramsey, felt comfortable with her killer because they still haven't found him. They blamed it on the parents, and it was too calculated. You know what I'm saying? Too smooth. So, if you teach your kids to understand that there are certain boundaries, certain ways you carry yourself so that they know what to look for in other people that may be preying on them. Otherwise, if you don't teach them that and you put them into grown-up situations way before they're ready, they're gonna act as if they know what to do in that grown-up situation, and they're not gonna know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And then if something happens, it's too late to always think about what you shoulda, coulda, woulda did. It's too late for that. You know what I'm saying? Always understand that it is time where you can grow. It is time where you can always learn the lessons that you haven't learned. It's just, are you willing to teach them that or not? You know what I'm saying? And some people are not willing to teach them that because they haven't grew in themselves. You know? Listen. Hey, anybody gonna know not to come for me or mine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna put her in a state where she's afraid to live life because of all the things that has went on in the world, and they may not even happen to her, but I'm so afraid that they may happen to her, I'm just gonna speak it into existence. No, I'm not gonna speak nothing negative into existence. I don't even think from a negative aspect. Everything I do and operate in is for a positive result. You feel me? So therefore, I can have the free space to be able to live my life without having to be afraid or worry all the time. But again, being mature in yourself helps your children also be mature too. Just because a man is a man and he has that power of control doesn't mean he is able to be strong enough to fight the battle that we fighting. And let me explain to you why. If a man only knows how to fight a threat through violence, you know what I'm saying, he's going to possibly end up in a situation he can't get himself out of, and that's going to be damaging to the people that he was supposed to protect. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? You have to teach and be aware of the fact that being emotionally mature as a man and a woman helps us elevate and grow these children to where they're able to be emotionally mature and how to handle themselves. If you cannot respect me, you know what I'm saying, you cannot respect my child, period. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be intimidated by what they can't get over on you. It may have worked in the past, but it don't work no more. And so we're going to push and push and push and push and push and make her feel less than, so that obviously what we'll be teaching can get through. Not over here. It's like barbed wire, baby. I'm not going down without a fight. You can come at me whatever you want. I'm willing to die about the shit that I stand on, because it's so important. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. In order for you to help your kids grow, you got to grow inside yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? You can't be teaching them the same thing that, you feel me, was taught to you growing up, because it won't be effective for the world we living in right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I am not a mother. I'm a mother. I'm not a baby mama, because a baby mama waits and calls and depends on a man to come through, and he takes that as leverage. Like, some men only like to feel needed. You feel me? And so whenever they feel needed, they can take that and choose to operate any way they want. So for me personally, it was like, make me feel needed. Call me to make me come pick her up. But I'm not going to come pick her up, though, because now the ball's in my court. Now I have the power, and I'm going to emotionally make her feel upset because you needed me. Fuck that. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I need you to come to the plate with being emotionally mature. I don't care if you you can fight, none of that. That manpower don't scare me. You feel me? You need to feel needed. And when you feel needed, that helps you operate in the way that you want to. You feel me? Which may not be mature for nobody. But you usually prey on people that'll give you what you want. This ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Step to the plate. Take money out of the situation. You feel me, what you get. Listen, get out of the situation. We ain't humping. We ain't having none of that. Because, listen, you can't use me for something that I'm requiring of you. I need you to come to the table with you. And you don't know who you are, so you can't do it. So now it's, let me make her feel bad, so to dumb her down. You feel me? So that she don't know who she is, and all my tactics will work. This ain't that. You know what I'm saying? It's a time now where, aside from everything that you have, everything that you own, the persona that you put on, who are you really? Are you mentally mature enough to be able to handle what's out here in this world? Or are you just a victim to it too? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I be seeing it all the time. It's a lot of people who will just try to cut to the chase. Let's just cut around the corner. Let's go buy that new bag. Let's go get that new outfit. You feel me? Let's go to the club and look good and get all the attention. And we gonna beat that person that has something authentically inside of them. That's not how it works. You feel me? And I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, don't be afraid of the teacher. You know what I'm saying? You may want to be the teacher, but the skills you learned, you feel me, you weren't open to knowledge. Because we can't just act like everything we learned in the past ain't accurate or wasn't beneficial at that time. That's all we knew. But if you take that looking good as, you feel me, just to compliment yourself, but carry something inside of you that's still inside of you, whether you got it or you don't, it's going to stand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? Because some people only are happy and nice and kind when they have everything they want in the world. You tell them no, or you take it from them, you're going to see the real them for real. Because they don't know no other way. They don't know how to use their brain to basically get it, even if they're told no. They're meant to be told yeah. And they're going to finesse you and manipulate you until you give them what they want. Even if it means putting you down and what you stand on. Nigga, fuck that. Excuse my language. I done been through that too much in my life. I'm not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.